Well, hello there, folks. So, we now know what we always all knew. It's HUW EDWARDS. Just a couple of thoughts from me. I mean, I normally have a definitive thought, but I've got bundles of little bits and pieces going around in my head. I think I'm a bit more hazy than when his wife came forward yesterday. I think I'm reading even more on the YouTube than I was before she came forward. Loads of people have got loads of differing opinions. And I have understand that. I mean, but he's obviously got some mental health issues, and for that I sympathise. I honestly don't believe he's making the mental health issues up in any way, shape or form, because I'm sure I've read about him in the past, and I'm sure he's had problems for the last 20 odd years. Do I think it excuses what he's done? Well, no, it definitely doesn't. You know, I'm sure everybody that has mental health issues copes in different ways, and at times does things wrongly, makes some bad choices, some mistakes, because of the mental health issues. That I do get. But I think we're looking at sort of 7 or 8 different situations now that is embroiled in here that we know of already. I mean, we've got the 17, 18-year-old, whatever the age was, he's on there chasing sexual pictures of her and paying her money. I mean, we heard it was a her. I'm sure it's a her. But I've heard somebody today calling it a he, or is that another instance? There's somebody else that he wanted to see during lockdown. There's somebody else he was trying to get pictures of. We don't know if he's paid any money. There's at least 3 people that are employed by the BBC, or were employed by the BBC, that have had some messages to and from Hugh in text or email form. That's left them very uneasy. So this isn't something that's been going on for a month or two. It's been going on for a number of months and even years. And he has obviously got problems. But I would suggest, even with mental health, you don't keep making the same mistakes again, or all differing mistakes. And as I say, I do feel sympathy for him. But I think until he actually comes out, when he comes out of hospital and speaks about these varying issues and scenarios, I don't think we're going to know a hell of a lot. And I don't think we're going to be able to form a really definitive opinion on what's gone on thus far. I mean, I heard something today. I follow a guy on YouTube, one of these guys that does, is it vlogs, but does the same as me, but does it from Tenerife. He does a lot where he's doing lives and speaking to people. You know, I don't do that. He does a lot of food reviews. He does lots of different things. And he's come up today feeling sympathy for you, as I say, as I do myself. And he's come up with the reasons he feels sympathy. And I'm thinking to myself, I've just watched what he's done and I thought, yeah, but you don't know any of this. You're just guessing. It's all supposition. You know, and a lot of people are guessing. Until, as I say, until we know anything, there's no point in guessing. You know, we just don't know what's gone on in general and what's been going on in his mind. I mean, these are other things. This guy said, the guy called Rick, he said he's obviously got a kink. Well, maybe he has got a kink, but I would suggest if there might be girls involved and maybe or women involved and men involved, that's 2 different kinks. If he wants pictures, that might be one kink. He wanted to go in lockdown and see people and meet people, that's not necessarily a kink. He suggested infidelity. Well, I suppose we don't know that he's been with anybody, actually physically been with anybody, but the fact that he's asking for pictures is maybe a form of infidelity. He's saying that he's in a sexless marriage. Well, I don't know how he knows he's in a sexless marriage. I don't think that's been reported anywhere. He's got 5 kids, so there's been plenty of times he's not been in such a marriage. He suggests that the girl that he wanted pictures of has been possibly blackmailing him. That's why it's gone up to £35,000. And then when he's made a stand and stopped paying, that's when she's gone to the press, or when her mother's gone to the press. Yeah, I believe her mother went to the press because she was worried about her because it was funding addiction. I mean, again, I don't know. We just don't know the whole story. In fact, we don't know any of the story. We know nothing. We really don't know anything. And as I said, until Hugh himself addresses things, I don't think we're going to know anything. The bit that amazes me is the BBC are now going to carry on with their inquiry that they stopped on the police's behest. And now they're going to carry it on. Now, I get them looking into the messages to 2 and 3 staff and former staff. I get that part of things. But when they ask the police to look into things and the police say he's done nothing criminal and nothing, nothing that he'd be going to court for or doing time for, why would the Beeb have to carry on with an investigation? Is it going to be like the Manchester United investigation into Mason Greenwood after he's been cleared and the police have dropped all charges and everything else? They're investigating, it's taken them forever and they're getting nowhere. Are the Beeb going to do that as well? What I would say is if HUW EDWARDS have been sending emails or messages to 2 or 3 colleagues and they've been upset in the past, I'm pretty sure out of at least 3 people, at least one of them will have spoken to someone at the BBC and maybe to a manager or somebody in some kind of power. I'd be pretty sure that one of them would have brought rank and done this. And it makes me think, have the Beeb done what the ITV have done? Listen to nobody. Because ITV listened to nobody regarding Schofield. They just let it carry on and carry on and carry on and move people around and acted like nothing was happening. Have the Beeb done the same? I wouldn't be at all surprised to find that they have done. And if that's the case with the scandals they've had in the past and what's on with Schofield recently, although it's on another channel, they may be in some hot water. But yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Hugh. He's got mental health issues. I've been lucky. I think I did say once on air, when the channel first started, I feel I had some health issues, mental health issues, about 15 years ago now. My business had gone under. It was more than that. It was a bad time for me. My business had gone under. I had some issues with family members who let me down, and a couple who I thought the world of, and some friends who let me down. You'd think if everyone lets you down at the same time, you've done something wrong. And honestly, folks, I promise you, I've done nothing wrong whatsoever. A business went under. That's it. That's the start of it. That's the end of it. That's it. When you're already down and people let you down, people who you put faith in and trust in, and it makes things a whole lot worse. And for 3 or 4 months, I was in a bad place. I really was. And I know it's mental health, but in a weird way, and I don't know how I did it, I just come out the other side. I say to myself, I cured myself. And I think I did with positive thinking and locking myself in a darkened room and talking to myself and sorting myself out. I think I got sorted. But I know most people with mental health issues just cannot do that. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate, as I say, HUW EDWARDS, the fact that he's had issues well before all this started. I'm sure it was the early 2000s. I read that he's had issues since then. And, for that, you've got to feel sympathy. But as I said at the outset of this message, you cannot condone what he's done over the past months and years and put it all down to mental health. You can't, because there's too many individual situations within that time that are now coming to light, and doing something wrong maybe once or maybe twice and blaming it to an extent on mental health, I would imagine that I would suggest that's passable. But the amount of times and the issues that were there, I'm not so sure. But anyway, I mean, this guy's saying that his wife, the probably relationship's ended. We just don't know. We don't know if they're going to stay together. We don't know if they're going to part. She's not said whether or not she's standing by him. I thought she intimated last night that she's put the statement forward and she's decided to let the press know that it was her husband. Many are saying through his wife he's got her to put this statement out to say that it was him. I think there's a chance that she's done it off her own back because she's wanted people to know, and she's wanted the rumours, the comments and everything else and the backbiting to end. But again, I might be wrong. That's only me assuming, and as I say, that's what we're all doing at the moment. I've rambled on, haven't I? I've really rambled on. I doubt many will have got to the end of this. I doubt there'll be many at all. But they're my thoughts. I don't expect to say anything else on the subject now until maybe old Hugh himself comes forward and has things to say. And at that stage, thoughts may change, viewers. Thoughts may change.